I think the key for all of us is we gotta keep channeling that energy and making sure, because in every election, there's always optimism, there's always an upside.
Yeah.
The upside I'm seeing is there's really good energy on the grassroots level.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Mine is, I'm also part of that group, and I was amazed at the election results, because he's right, those candidates were running for the first time, never involved, and they won, because
Yeah.
she had that group on Facebook had so much energy, that they made sure they went out and voted,
Yeah.
and those candidates won.
Yeah,
We had like
Yeah.
cold calling of people on the day of the election, we were holding
That's
signs,
great.
we were doing meetings at houses to meet the candidates. Even the ICE raids, there was a protest yesterday that was organized by the same group outside of Lawrence office.
that's great.
So they do some great work, I recommend everybody join.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm gonna take, just so you guys know, I'm gonna take maybe 3 more, and then I'm gonna have Tasneem wrap up. I'm just taking a look at the clock, and then we can obviously continue the conversation, but I wanna give an opportunity for folks who do wanna start to get on the roads, to get on the roads.
That's Suffolk University.
Oh, yes, and then, yes, so 3 and then all. So, sorry.
So I have 2 daughters that are 18, and they help get a social justice coalition together in our church. And in parallel of what they're saying with the election is, we started out as a group of 4 or 5 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. Now we're 90. I was expressing to them frustration that we don't have that many people that get together every week. We only have 15 or 20. We're at South Church in Andover. And they said, but Mom, it's awesome. Everybody's on they're following you on Facebook, and they're doing the actions. And we saw it in the election, and they went and voted, and they got their friends to vote. So they're vitalized through the social media, and they don't watch the news at all.
Yeah.
They might look at the front page of the newspaper, suffer through listening to NPR with me.
Yeah.
But the other piece is that I cringe when I keep hearing ignorance, and maybe that's because I come from an entitled background, and I don't want to be considered ignorant, but I think there's a level of fear and irrationality that very bright people and informed people still have. And so the ignorance is a component, but if we want to engage the conversation with those who have different opinions, we
Yeah.
can't be holding that thought that they're ignorant.
Yeah,
So I don't know how we can get into those conversations, but the bigotry definitely is to be addressed.
yeah.
So if there are models out there, maybe with other periods in history, what you've seen or how you're promoting that at the ground level.
Yeah. Nothing is immediately coming to mind, but I'm gonna give that some more thought. And kind of explore if any of our partners are doing anything like that too. Nothing's coming immediately to mind though. Yeah.
So the states you mentioned when you were talking about, the states where you guys have had these kind of meetings, were
Yeah.
all the states that are liberal, right? I mean, it's
That was my
pretty clear.
question, that was my question.
Northeast, all the west coast,
Yeah.
northern,
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the two, so first, what are you doing about the Midwest, the red states?
Yeah.
And then the second question is, what are the tools that you are using
Yeah.
to reach out across the aisles that we could maybe in some ways do on personal levels?
Yeah.
Right, because, the fact of the matter is, it is very difficult for even us to come together,
Yeah.
right? For these types of things, and then to bring people that are actually have diametrically opposite views,
Yeah.
to bring them to a forum means literally bringing them kicking and screaming, right?
Yeah.
So which is why, of course, social media is one thing,
Yeah.
but we also tend to develop our own worlds in social media,
Yeah.
right? So when I put something on Facebook, I get hundreds of likes because these are all people that are of my mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not really friends with Facebook, on Facebook with people that are not of my like-mindedness, because I'm not,
Yeah.
that close of friends with them.
Yeah.
So I think that's the question I have is, what are the tools you have,
Yeah.
and what are you actually doing about these other states that
Yeah.
have actually elected Trump?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really great question. It's definitely been something that we've been concerned about. And in some ways, the red states are almost, you could argue, are of greater concern because our communities that are there are almost more vulnerable because they're in more distinct minority, right? So part of it is it's a capacity issue as well as we're growing. One of our capacity needs is we want to be able to have what we're calling like state and local coordinators and outreach people. And part of what we're looking to do not only kind of where those Republicans that we could potentially influence, but also where there's particularly vulnerable communities that really need support as well. So that's the piece. The second piece on the guided stuff, we do have some documents on our website, so like if it's around the Muslim ban, that you could use to talk to your elected officials about things like that. And again, that's also an area as we're growing, we're looking to push out materials to people. We put them with materials to be able to go to their elected officials and be able to discuss. So I definitely want to stay in touch with you with everyone as we're kind of growing and expanding. And we'll see more of that coming in the coming months. So, oh boy. Should I take the questions? Or?
Take them.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
okay with
okay.
it. If anybody has to leave, feel free.
I know. Did you still have a question? I know you had your
No,
hand
my
up.
question was
Here's one
exactly
here.
what
Okay.
I was going to ask,
Okay.
about what are you doing in the red states?
Oh, okay, so I'm going to go
I want to make
Okay.
two observations.
Okay.
I mean, I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I think today, because of the targeting of the Muslims, we have to pay attention.
Yeah.
This is my 12th election cycle. By revealing my age, I think this probably was the most hateful, most dividing campaign.
Yeah.
The person who won opened his election campaign by using words like rape.
Yeah.
So I've never seen it as bad as it is today. At the same time, it's very unique about America, which is you are able to do what you're doing. We are able to do what we're doing to defend our rights.
Yeah.
There are judges who are willing to stand up
Yeah.
and put a hold on the bank.
Yeah.
And my concern is that we have a president who is making the whole system illegitimate.
Yeah.
When he says that there are 5 million fraudulent votes,
Yeah.
when he makes a statement that the whole system is rigged, when I travel around the world, the executives tell me that you Americans can't lecture us about democracy anymore.
Yeah.
You can't tell us that our election is rigged.
Yeah.
You can't tell us anymore that there is fraudulent elections in our country. Your own president is saying that.
Yeah.
What is going on in the country to fight against that? Because to me, if the foundation of the country is undermined, we will not be able to do what we are doing as a minority to defend our rights.
Yeah.
And the current president is really attacking the very foundation of this country. And I think that is very important because if I go to 9/11, we built a mosque in Billerica. The very first public hearing that was broadcast all over the town of Billerica and was held on 9/12, the day after 9/11. We were in a room full of people. Our lawyer was very concerned. My wife and I there, my daughter was with us, and the lawyer is saying, you know what, I look at this room full of people, there are no non-whites. Maybe we should ask for the hearing to be adjourned. We told him, no, let's go ahead, see what happens. The chairperson who opened the hearing, her first words to us were that because of what happened yesterday, you think you're not going to get a fair hearing? Let me assure you that you will get a fair hearing. And our project was approved. That's the essence of this country. And we cannot let that be attacked, because if that is attacked, all of this becomes irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is going on to show that there were not 5 million fraudulent votes, that the elections are not rigged?
Yeah.
Because if we lose our very foundation, as minorities, we won't be able to defend ourselves.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very good point, and I think that's why it's absolutely crucial that each of us is doing our part to make sure that our country is living up to its ideals, and the media is struggling to do its part to make sure that it's also pushing back on these claims of fake news and things like that. So, really, really good points.
So I think the point is really important, but I have been burdened by this sustained grassroots movement on so many levels. I got kind of deeply involved in this last summer, mostly on the election, but the more involved I got, the more groups that I saw targeting certain issues to dispel this, the more heartened I became. I was not really confident about everybody saying, oh, we've got checks and balances, we have checks and balances. And I said, well, yes, but we have a lot of Republicans too. But let's not overlook that the travel ban has been challenged in court. There's a check and balance that worked. So I think part of it is the multitude of issues that this guy is throwing on our plate. They're body blows every single day. But I think the checks and balances thing has the potential to work. We have House hearings going on now. We have a huge public outcry about, what's happening with documents and who's giving who to what and intelligence committees. The stuff is not happening behind closed doors anymore. So for me, that's encouraging. That's not a major advance forward. A ton of work to be done. But as somebody who grew up in the 60s when there was a lot of protest and a lot of activism in the 60s and 70s, what I've seen in the last 6 or 8 months is far surpasses that. And it's really kind of encouraging for me because it's broad across so many issues and it's sustained. So that makes me hopeful. A ton of work to do, no doubt about it. But we're not as bad as I was afraid we might be 6 months ago.
I belong to a group called Daughters of Abraham, and there's some of you who are members. It's a book group that strives to have as close as possible an equal number of Christian, Muslim, and Jewish women. And it is fabulous. And if you're interested in being able to have conversation about faith, we're not supposed to talk politics, but we do. And just getting to know each other as human beings and friends, go on daughtersofAbraham.com. It tells you how to start a group, tells you the suggested book lists. The books are to relate to the 3 faiths, the Abrahamic faiths, and I encourage you because I didn't know one Muslim person when I decided to start a chapter, and now I know all of them.
A lot of questions about, discussions about what do we do at the grassroots to do this.
Yeah.
So in Westwood, where I live, in the last 6 months, a couple of local Muslim women with a lot of the Muslims in the town, me and one Maryam here, what they have done is they organize events at the library called Get to Know Your Muslim Neighbors. It's a free event at the library. They bring food, which is a big draw for the crowd. And it was the highest attended event at the Westwood Library ever. So they've done 2. First event, there were about 30% Muslims. The second event, there was only 7 Muslims who were conducting the event. The rest was filled with non-Muslims. And the buzz has gone around the town, so I encourage other towns, Muslims in other towns, to hold events like that. People are so excited to come to those events because they get to know, and it's just discussions. They show a little bit film, a little bit about our Islam, but then it's just people sit in groups, 6, 7 people, and have one Muslim in the group, and it's just person-to-person discussions. It's been very popular, and people around town stop us and ask us, "Oh, you were in that group? You were a Muslim. You were in that group."
Yeah. Tomorrow is actually, people probably know about it. A lot of the mosques are holding open houses. Basically, I read the flyer from one of them, and it said, "Come meet a Muslim." And I mean, it made me smile at first, but that's what it's really doing. I think it's going to be a great turnout, hopefully.
That's great.
I'll talk about my experience. I have traveled a lot in a very rural part of the country, in the heart of the country. And especially since 9/11, what I found out, that talking to people, as soon as they find out I'm a Muslim, they get like really surprised. Really? So when I ask them why, more than once I've been told that in the churches, they are being taught basically to hate Muslims and Jews. If you must stay away from them or they don't belong in this country. So that, I've always found it very interesting.
So because of these travel bans, the traveling has been impacted quite a bit. And so I'm wondering if you have like resources you can point to not just traveling to these countries in any immigration status that they have, but also I know of incidences where people were just coming from India during the travel ban and they were sent back out of like specific reasons. So how can travelers know what the right thing is at the port of entry and how can they